What is up, team? How everybody doing tonight? Got a special guest coming in. See Nicole Brown is in the building. Say she love Major Change Group. Yeah, I had to get her over here. We gonna hold on for maybe two or 3 minutes. She getting ready in the backstage back there, and we go roll with it. Whoever's in here, and whoever's not in here, they gonna miss the beginning. I don't want to hold her up, and I don't want to hold y'all up. How you doing today, Nicole? All right. People starting to trickle in a little bit. All right, I don't want to keep her back there too long. We only got a couple people in here, but we gonna go ahead and get it started. Well, Woodsy in the building too. It is your boy Sledge from the SledgeIncTeam, and this is episode 2 of Unfiltered 20 Questions with Sledge. And today, we got the guest today is an entrepreneur. She's a YouTube creator. She's the queen of budgeting, and she is real as they come. I want to welcome to the stage Tasha from the Major Change Group. How you doing today, Tasha?
How are you doing?
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm ready to see what kind of questions you're gonna be asking me tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna be good. So for the people that do not know you, introduce yourself and your channel to everyone.
All right, what's up, y'all? I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, and on my channel, we talk about credit cards, budgeting. We put some travel in there. But overall, before we get started, I want to just say, Sledge, thank you so much for having me on your channel. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. I've been waiting to do this for so long. We had our little small collaboration where we had separate videos. It was the first time we ever got together,
No, that was good.
in this fashion. So this gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And you got somebody in there that said that they love the Major Change Group. So it's
even better. Yeah, that's my sister.
That's your sister. All right. So the way this thing works is I'm gonna ask you 20 questions, some credit card related, some not so much. We're not gonna get into the chat at all. This is just between me and you. It's kind of like an intimate setting, and it's just for the my subscribers, your subscribers, and anyone who watches it or just views a little bit of video to get to know your channel. This video is not about me at all. It's about you, your channel, and we gonna go from there. Let me know
before
if you're ready
we get
to
started,
get in.
Is my sound good?
Yeah, you sounds good.
Okay, somebody said it was so loud when I started talking.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get into number 1. You're gonna see me look down a little bit because I got these questions written down. These 20 questions.
Okay.
All right. The first question is, what made you get in front of the camera and start making videos for YouTube?
No, wow. That is so cool. That's a good question. Because I'm gonna tell you, really, I would have, and even like my friends and stuff, like they say, like, I would have never thought that you would do this. Because it's like, really, I'm more so of a behind the scenes person. I really never saw myself, doing like on camera. You see what I'm saying? I'm more so behind the scenes. But I can say that it was like a few years ago, I was just like, because I was already in budgeting. And I was like, I really want to do budgeting, but I always thought it would be more so, how like on the weekends and you would go to the library and it would be somebody in there, doing budgeting and presentations and stuff. I thought it'd be more so like that. I never would have thought that it would have been on YouTube. And so it was 2018. So 2018, I want to say October. So October 2018, I was thinking about it. And so at my church, I was doing mentoring for the college kids. And so we would talk about different things, including budgeting and stuff like that. And so probably October 2018, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do a YouTube channel, but I don't know what I want to do it on. So I was just like, well, it could be budgeting. And at that time I was teaching Zumba classes, or did I want to do where I was going to different restaurants? Because y'all already know, if y'all don't know me, y'all check out my channel. I love eating out. And so I didn't know what I wanted to, what did I want to talk about? So then, so it was 2018. I think it was like December at church in the mentoring group. They wanted us to do like a 60 seconds. They gave us a topic. So mine was on preparation. So that's my first video on YouTube, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, this video, 60 seconds, took me probably 56 times. Like 56 times for me to do this 60-second video. Because it's like, on the one hand, it's not really, it's easy, but it's not, so I did that. And, so I was still trying to figure out, okay, am I going to start the YouTube channel or not? So I said, I'm going to start the channel in February. So I said, I'm going to start the channel in February, Black History Month. And so I had ended up getting me a laptop, because I never had a laptop. I always had a desktop. And so I had got me a laptop, my first Apple laptop. And then I had did that video preparation. It's still on the channel now. And then, so I posted that. That was my first one. And then, so I really was first starting to talk about credit. Because, see, I was always, helping people with their credit and things like that. So I just started with credit. And then I started with travel. And then I did it that way. So, yeah. But I will tell you, let me tell you this one thing. But I will tell you, I don't think I would have really ever got to get started unless I had did Toastmasters. So I did Toastmasters. And so that really kind of gave me the confidence that I needed. And then once I did that, it kind of really helped me from, kind of being like a behind the scenes kind of person, because I can do all the other stuff, but it's just like, dang, do I want to get on camera? You see what I'm saying? And then do I want to talk in front of people? Even though we're on here, and it's just, really I'm just talking to myself, but now I'm talking to you. It's like, would I be able to do that in front of 50 people or 100 people, So really Toastmasters really kind of helped me and to be able to do it.
You know what? What's funny is you touched on something. I was gonna ask you about the preparations video, actually. So now I know what made you get into that video.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's it.
One thing I gotta say is people don't understand. They look at us on this camera. They don't realize it's easy, but it's not easy.
Yeah, like, it's easy, but it's not.
Can you since you already touched on the preparations video, can you tell me a little bit more about the Toastmasters, because I'm not familiar with that?
Yeah, so Toastmasters, you think Toastmasters, you think toast, but it's really a public speaking club. So I got into it through work, because it's like I'm a very friendly kind of person, and especially like with my team, I'm good. But let's say when I had to have meetings with the execs, it's like I'll be blah blah blah. I couldn't remember things, and it was just so hard. But it was like, so I was one person there, but then with my team, I was another person. And so then I had went to my boss, and I was just like, man, because we had like a big meeting, and I was just like, I don't know how that went and all that kind of stuff. And so I had Toastmasters on my calendar for like a whole year, and I just never went to the meetings or anything like that. And so then I went to the meetings. And so basically what Toastmasters is just a club to really get you more acclimated to being able to speak in public. Because most of the time, if you put a camera in somebody's face, especially if you're not prepared, how good would the average person do? You see what I'm saying? It's really kind of a skill for the most part. And so really it helped me. So Toastmasters, it really helped me. So especially in the beginning, now I've gotten a lot more relaxed with the camera. But like at first, I would even write whatever I was talking about. I would kind of write it as I use the same skill from Toastmasters to put my videos together.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And then I'll let me tell you this one point, because when the first time that I went to the Toastmasters meeting, they have this one part of the meeting, they'll say, well, and it's been like a year, it might be a few years since I went to a meeting because I just got so busy and I stopped going. But they'll ask you to come up and they'll just give you a topic, and it's like off the cuff. And so they'll give you like, like you're asking me these questions, you didn't send me these questions. So, and then you have 1 minute to speak on this question. Y'all, I had went up there. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So when I got up there, they told me what I was going to talk about. I literally thought I talked for like 3 minutes and I talked for 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's how it is. That is definitely how it is. You think you wrote down something and you talked for 5 minutes and it was really 1 minute.
It was really 1 minute. Yeah.
It's definitely a skill to talk in front of people, even to talking to these cameras and,
Yeah, it is. So you can go on Toastmasters.com if I'm not making a mistake, and you can find like a Toastmasters within your state. And so I started off just like a regular Toastmaster person that's going to the meetings. And then I was like the secretary, I was the president, and then I was the director. So I really went through everything, but it's really good. If you're scared to speak in front of people, and it's not even necessarily for Toastmasters, but let's say if it's a job that you're wanting to get, because that's how it would even be sometimes in interviews. It's like you think it's going one way, but then how am I really doing? So doing the Toastmasters can help you in any aspect.
Public speaking can be important because you never know when you will be put on that spot. And like you say, in a job interview, you think you prepared, but when they ask you certain questions, no matter how prepared you are, if it don't come out right, that could be the difference between you getting that job and somebody else getting it.
Right.
So it sounds like it worked out for you. And I'm pretty comfortable speaking. But it was still difficult for me as well. The hardest part for me getting my YouTube channel was actually starting it. Just getting in front of the camera and starting it.
Right.
But enough about me. All right. So you've been doing YouTube for over 5 years now. In the beginning, your topics were mainly about life experiences and traveling. Can you tell us what got you into making more content about credit cards?
Yes. So when I first started, I was really more so talking about budgeting, but really about credit. So like some of my first videos was on, how to improve your credit. Because it's just like for me, even though now I have 14 credit cards and my credit score is good, like my credit always is, for the most part, I always pretty much had a good credit score. And I don't know how, because it's just like, who really thinks to learn stuff about your credit? You see what I'm saying? And so, but I would always want to make sure that my credit was good. So I just thought that would be something good to talk about, since I would help other people. And then especially with budgeting. And then, you learn YouTube, because it's just like, even though it's YouTube, it's really the audience.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? On the one hand as well. And so, I kind of started talking about credit cards, and then I had started talking about Navy Federal credit cards. And then really, I think really what got me kind of out there and how I ended up getting monetized, because, people were talking about Navy Federal, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about what everybody else is talking about. And then, so that's how I ended up, researching. And that's how I found out that they had that lawsuit. And when I talked about that Navy Federal lawsuit, then that's how my channel just, whoa, I got so many views. And then that's how I ended up getting monetized off of that video. And then it just went from there. And so now, I just, I talk about the different credit cards. And so usually for my channel, I'm always talking about my kind of perspective on what I'm doing. I usually like to show receipts so that it can be more, that I'm telling the truth. You see what I'm saying? That I'm not just, saying everything that everybody else is saying.
That's why I like your channel. Yeah, that's why I like your channel. In your introduction, I said that you as real as they come. When people watch your videos and they watch your channel, you can tell that it's authentic. Like you can tell that those videos are authentic. You can just feel from the way that you speak. So,
I try.
all right. Now you've been to Dubai.
Yep.
Can you tell us about that experience for the people like myself who have never been?
You know what? And so I went with a travel group, and this was 2020. So basically 2019, my sister, because me and my sister travel together a lot, and she had went on a trip with this travel group, and so she was like, okay, we're gonna go to Dubai. So we in 2019 we had started talking about it, and then in 2020, that's when everything was starting to happen. And so then it was just like, are we going, are we not going? And so then we went, and it was amazing. So Dubai is very clean. It's very like some of the rules and everything, but I don't know, it's just like I can't. It's almost, how like the Jetsons, because it's like they are like their buildings. It just looks so different from the United States. You see what I'm saying? And then like when you go to the frame, so it's like this huge frame, and then they'll give you like 10 years before, and I think 10 years where they're trying to go into the future. And so like the food is great, the malls, it's like everything is just huge. But then also some of the buildings, it's like they'll take things that we do here or other countries, and then they'll just make it even better. The buildings, bigger and better. And then they have like a lot of mocktails and stuff like that. And it was really, really nice. But maybe like the last maybe 2 days, that's when kind of everything was going on, and we didn't have to leave early, but then a lot of things were kind of like closing down. So some of the things we weren't able to do, but we went to a few mosques. We ended up doing like a desert tour, and then they had food, and I did camel riding and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get to do sand boarding because I really wanted to do that. That would have been really fun. And we did sand duning, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. And then when we went, see, it was in March, so the weather was good. It wasn't hot, like over 100 degrees like it can get sometimes. So
Wow. You say you rode a camel? How was
yeah.
that? How was that?
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay. Let me see. I want to get back on the topic of budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 different digital planners. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
It's so funny that you say that. Oh my gosh. So this is like my 4th edition. This is my 4th edition planner, but it's like I'm so bad about talking about it. And so really on my Etsy shop, I have my digital planner, but then also if you go into the description of my videos, I do have a free kind of it's like a debt repayment and kind of like a budget that you can use if you don't want to purchase the digital budget planner. But really it's where you can do your actual budget, your savings. Then you can also have for your credit cards, because it's just like as I was doing it every year, it's like I would think of things that I could add to it. So for me, especially with credit cards, us having so many credit cards, it's like, okay, I wanted to make sure that my credit utilization, how can I rotate it between the different cards and things like that. And so I have a section in the digital planner for your credit cards, and then it has a saving aspect of it, and then it even has notes. So it's more so really you can start your budget on a piece of paper, but then also like this one is an actual digital budget planner, so that you can make sure that you're organized. Because I think, I know some people don't like to necessarily say possibly budgeting, or I'll say reallocation of funds or whatever, but it's good to be able to have all of your stuff, in your budget planner or whatever, so you can be, your foundation can be good. You want your foundation of, knowing how much money you have coming in, because especially with us, since, I use my credit cards like a debit card. So how can I be organized? And I feel like being able to use some kind of digital planner. So of course, if you would like to purchase my digital planner, you can go over to my Etsy shop, or you can always go into the description and get the free, like a free version of it as well. But just so you can, have your foundation of knowing how much money you have coming in, and going out, how much debt that do you have, how much are you saving every month. So I'm more so on the front end, you being on the financial spectrum. It's just like the front end. How can we get our basics right so that we can have all the credit cards? And then really, even with the basics of our credit, to me, it kind of moves in, well, the basics of our money, it moves into our credit, making sure our credit profile is good, because, I'm always going to be wanting to apply for more and more credit cards.
Well, you can count on me picking one up.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to get better about, talking about it, because usually, at the beginning of the year, I'll kind of talk about it. And I do have this one person, even though I don't know who it is, like, look, they get one every year, and it's not one of my family members either. And so I was so excited, that because, at first, like the first year, your family will buy it and stuff like that. But then when other people would start buying it, and then I saw this name every year, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like somebody else is buying it. That's not one of my family members.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Like I said, you can count on me to pick up one. All right. Now with the $75 planner, it comes with one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that what comes with that session?
Yeah, so with that, it's more so one, you'll be able to get the digital budget planner. And then I also want to say, with the digital budget planner, you have to be able to use it on like not OneNote, because you have to be able to use it on one of the platforms online, on your either on your tablet, so that you can pull it up. But within the $75, it's just if somebody wants to meet with me and just to go over kind of how their finances, to be able to get the foundation of how they're doing more organized. So it's more so, how can we get you organized, and asking different questions on top of that. So because sometimes what would happen, because it is the thing, how, let's say, even like your family members or people, and then they'll tell other people, but then how people, they'll want to call you and they'll want to talk about it. But then it's like, so then I ended up creating this, I guess it's not necessarily a course, but it's just like a package, to where one, you can get the digital budget planner, but then also, like, on the phone, we would start talking about, okay, well, you can do this, this, and that. So basically, it's just within the package, how can we get your foundation organized? And then we'll talk about, what are you wanting to do in the future and things like that, and just, really get you organized.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's why I said at the beginning, the very first thing I introduced you as was an entrepreneur. Before anything, you're an entrepreneur even before you're a creator. Now, you have been to Dave Ramsey Studios.
Yeah.
A credit card YouTube creator going to Dave Ramsey Studio. How was that experience?
Okay, so I will tell you, when I went, this was in 2020. So he was not there, and so we got to tour. And I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So like, I've been knowing about Dave Ramsey forever. And I really love Dave Ramsey. So for me, the only thing that I don't like is that he states not to use credit cards. But I feel like where I am now is because of the principles that Dave Ramsey has, because it has been a point where I actually had cut up all my credit cards. I was not using credit cards for, a specific amount of time. But I feel like if I didn't do that, then now I wouldn't be in a place to where I'm really using my credit cards like a debit card. So, but I think you have to he creates that discipline in you to where it's like, okay, yeah, I wasn't using credit cards, but it's like my finances are in order. I understand things. And so it's like now I feel like, yeah, I can have a credit card or 14. You see what I'm saying? Because it's just like I know what to do. And it's not it's not hard. And I pay the credit cards off every month. And so, I really like Dave Ramsey. But I like, a lot of other um like Susie Orman, and then we have other people, but those are the people, back in the day kind of listened to. So,
Hey, being financially responsible is important, especially when we're dealing with credit cards,
right,
because we know what can happen when you're not financially responsible with credit cards.
right.
Now, you made a lot of videos about student loan debt and student loan forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that topic so important to you?
Well, especially during that part, because in the last election, that's what they were really talking about, student loans, and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Well, Bernie Sanders was for eliminating the student loan. Then Elizabeth Warren, she was for 50,000. But Biden, he wasn't for no student loan forgiveness at first. You see, he was not for no student loan forgiveness. It wasn't until the very end that he was for, saying that he was for some student loan forgiveness. So, at that time, it was more so talking about, okay, are they going to do forgiveness? Are they not going to do forgiveness? And so I was just talking about it more from that aspect. Like for me, my debt, that's what I do have student loan debt. And so, I was really kind of wanting the student loan forgiveness, but then on the same hand, because you always have to say it, I'm okay with paying back my student loans, but it's just like when I look at the different types of debt, student loans are a little bit different. Let's say like an auto loan. And to me, I don't necessarily like how even, especially when was it 2020 up to maybe like 20, when was it 20? Because we just started I just started paying back my student loans maybe like last year. So it's just like, during that time, it didn't have the interest on it. But then now you're making your payments again. And then plus still every month they put more interest on it compared to, let's say your car, you get the interest on it. But if you're paying it down really, fast, then it's just like, it doesn't, you're able to, since you're paying it down so fast, you're almost beating the interest. But it's like the interest on the student loans are kind of high. And then just how, like when you graduate, they add on the interest, and then every month they add on more interest. So it just seems like it's a little bit harder sometimes to pay the student loans down so fast. But then also, consumer protections around student loans as well, because one, you can't, and I'm not saying I don't want to do no bankruptcy or anything like that, but it's just like you can't even go, if you do bankruptcy, you still gonna have your student loans, so you can't discharge your student loans in bankruptcy. And then even just some of the other protections compared to, let's say, credit card debt or a house or anything like that. If you do bankruptcy, you can pretty much come out a lot better. But then with student loans, it's just like they just rake you over the coals kind of with student loans. But then with student loans, when you're 18, are they checking your credit to be able to see if you can afford these student loans? No. But then they want to put those student loans on your credit report. You see what I'm saying? And so it's hindering people sometimes for even being able to get a house, because now, they put your student loans in with your other debt. So it's just so much with, the loans that I feel like they should change some of the things. So I don't necessarily think now, hey, I was for it. Yeah, you can eliminate my student loans, but how can we do some other things? So first, I would say tackle the interest. Tackle the interest first, because on the front end, I feel like they are doing some things where, now in certain states, you can pretty much go to a community college free and all that kind of stuff. So they are doing some things kind of on the front end. But what about, on the back end.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Mm-hmm.
Student loans, one of those things where you can go in with $50,000 worth of debt and end up with $100,000 worth of debt.
Right.
In no time. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree. All right, so now we go get into the main course. We're gonna talk about some credit card stuff.
Okay.
Most people are here to see, I'm sure. What was your very first credit card, and what made you choose that card?
So, my very first credit card. You know what? I think it was 3, because it's so funny. Like now, I I apply for a lot of credit cards, but even kind of then, even years ago, I don't know, it's like I would apply for credit, but I believe my first credit card was the Citi Thank You Rewards credit card. But see, this is the thing, I don't even know, they changed the name of this credit card so many times, so I don't even know if like if you go to look under Citi, I don't think you'll find the Thank You Rewards credit card. But see, that's my longest. But then Sledge, you already know all those store credit cards, and I be forgetting about those. Look, I had that dealer's card, I had that limited, I had Zales, I had JC Penney's, I had dealers, I had Sears. It's no tell. I had a Firestone card. I'm trying to think what else. That's what I'm saying. I had so many credit cards. So I was kind of starting with the like the store credit cards, and then the Citi credit card, and then I had 2 Bank of America credit cards. And I think it was this, how do you have 2 Bank of America credit cards? So I had 2 Bank of America credit cards. And but see, even now, it's like I use my credit cards differently. So it's like, even though I had the Bank of America credit cards, those 2, I use those a little bit differently to where I would use those for the house, so it was like if it was stuff that I needed to do with the house or stuff like that, because this one time I had to get a HVAC. Oh my gosh. So I had to get a new HVAC unit. And so like I was able to take the money off of the Bank of America credit card, and it was at 0% interest and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I would always try to figure out little things that I could do, so it's like you make sure your foundation is good, but then also being able to use the credit cards as well.
Yeah, I've been there with those store cards. Yeah, I OD'd on store cards at one time, in the very beginning. Same as you.
Right.
All right. So even though that so since that Citi card that you first started with probably is no longer in existence, in 2024, what would you recommend to people to be at their first credit card?
I think that my suggestion would be, I'm gonna always say the Discover It card.
I agree.
The Discover It card. Like for somebody just kind of getting into credit card, it could be a student. One, you could have it doesn't have an annual fee on it. And then you could do the secured, or you can do the unsecured. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like so many choices. And I think I would always suggest that one as kind of like a beginner card.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I 1000% agree with that. Mm-hmm. Anybody ask me about a beginner credit card, I'm going to say Discovery card. And then after that first year, apply for it again, because you can have 2 of them. Let me see. All right. Now you touched on the Bank of America card, so we got to circle back around to that. You had Bank of America close 2 of those cards. What happened there?
Do not get me started. I don't even know what happened with that. So I had been with Bank of America. Man, I had been with them for years. And I had those credit cards. I had probably had those 2 credit cards probably 13 to 15 years, maybe. And but I will say that I didn't have a balance on the credit cards. Right. And just one day. So this is one credit card first. They did it one at a time. So, but I want to say this was during 2020. So it's like on the one hand, possibly from, like a corporate way of thinking, you could kind of see what they were doing. But then on the same hand, if the card didn't have a balance on it, it's just like, why would you do that? You see what I'm saying? Especially if I had been with y'all for so long. So one day it was like, I got a text message or something, and they said that the card was closed. So I thought it was some kind of spam or, some kind of phishing email. And then I checked my account and it was gone. The credit card was gone. And so I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. What's going on? So then I called the bank, and then I was like, yep, we closed it. We closed the card, and then you should be getting something in the mail. But it's just like, really, they didn't give a reason. And it's just like, on the one hand, I don't know that they have to give a reason because it's unsecured debt. You see what I'm saying? And then, but it like for me, because see, that both of the credit cards each had, I want to say one was 13.5 and one was 15. Like, cause you know how to I would have rather you had took all the balance down to the credit limit down to 1,000. You see what I'm saying? Opposed to closing the card, and then especially because that's what I'm saying, my city, and then those two Bank of America cards, those were like the first cards that I had got. So I had those cards forever. And then you just do me like that. You know what I'm saying? So it happened the one time, and then I say, did I not learn my lesson? I didn't learn my lesson. And so I still, to where, now I try my best to rotate my spend and stuff like that. And that card still was inactive for a while, and I didn't have any spend on it. And next thing you know, whoop, right from up under me. I didn't get no, like if they would have sent me because I believe my sister, she had maybe got a letter saying, if you don't use this card in 30 days, we're going to close it. Like if they would have sent me a card, an email or something, letter saying, okay, in 30 days, we're going to close it, then I would have did what I needed to do. You see what I'm saying? But just to close it without saying anything, I just didn't think that was right. So when they did that, because see, Bank of America are everywhere. Bank of America everywhere. So it was so, convenient for me having the Bank of America. And then I had Navy Federal. And then I do have another credit union here in Nashville, but it's like Bank of America is on every corner. And then, with the ATMs, you could deposit money in ATMs and all that kind of stuff. And so it was just so convenient. But then once they did that, I was so mad. I said, I'm closing my bank account. So I closed my bank account. And then I moved all my money over to Navy Federal.
Smart move.
So
smart move.
So that's why you don't even see me talk about no Navy Federal credit cards. I mean, no, you don't see me talk about no Bank of America credit card. I don't even touch, I ain't talking about no Bank of America credit cards.
Do you remember which cards it was?
I don't even remember. It was two red ones. I don't even remember which cards they were. And see, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, for one, it seemed like they was two of the same cards. And so I'm just like, I don't know how I did that.
You would think a bank that big. I think that's the second largest bank in America behind Chase. You would think a bank like that, I mean, the least they could do was send out an email, to notify the customers to use the card at least, one time.
Yeah. And see, that's why I was saying, Chase, because it's like Bank of America, they own here in Nashville. They was everywhere. But now Chase, so I really am thinking about opening up, even though I have so many Chase credit cards, I don't have a Chase checking account. And so I'm really thinking about, because it's like now they're building so many Chase banks here. And then now they even have the ATMs that are just in certain areas to where you can just drive up. And so I'm like, I'm going to really see about getting me a Chase checking account.
All right. Now, you just talked about Navy Federal. You make a decent amount of videos on Navy Federal. And the two cards that I know that you like the most are the More Rewards and the Flagship.
Yes.
What is it about these two cards that make you like them so much?
Man, these cards, they're just meant to be with each other, because with the Navy Federal More Rewards, see, I'm dining. I most of, besides my mortgage, food, that's what I'm spending my money on. So I need 3 times the points or higher for dining. So with the More Rewards, you got 3 times the points for dining, groceries, and gas. And so that's great. But then you have the Navy Federal Flagship, and you can get 2 times the points for everything else. And so that's why those 2 cards, they just work so well together. And then especially with the More Rewards, it doesn't have an annual fee on it. But then with the Navy Federal Flagship, even though it does have an annual fee, it's just like I was able to get the Amazon Prime, because I'm telling you, even if you call Navy Federal, they state that you'll only get it 1 time, but I think I got it like 2 or 3 times where they paid it. But then this year, I was so mad because I had got the Chase Amazon Prime card, and so that card ended up being the main card on my Amazon account. So then once it was time for the auto renewal, it automatically came off of my Amazon Prime, and my Navy Federal wasn't on there. So I was like, dang, I probably could have got it another year, and I didn't. And so that's why I really so they just work together, because the Navy Federal More Rewards is just an everyday card. And so especially with it not having no annual fee, because I'm more so of a no annual fee person, like that's right up there for me.
Now, you mentioned something that might have went over people's head a few seconds ago. Are there any other Navy Federal products that you use or you recommend to your subscribers?
Well, I love Navy Federal. So, I've gotten an auto loan. And then, because I'm going to do a video about this. So last year, I did the certificate, and I really liked the certificate. So I want to say I did the 15-month certificate last year, and it just matured a few days ago. And so what I did, I just ended up moving it over. So now I have a 12-month certificate with them. And I believe it's not as high as it was last year, but I want to say it is either 4.64 or 4.97 if I'm not making a mistake. So I really am liking the certificates. The auto loan, the credit cards, just whatever you can do. But then, because I would say Navy Federal is more so of a relationship type of bank on the one hand. But if you want to get those good interest rates and stuff, because see, the thing is, when I first got Navy Federal, it's like, Navy Federal, it's just another credit union. And so I still had Bank of America. So it's like all my money was with Bank of America. And then when I joined Navy Federal, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a credit card, and it's gonna be $25,000. Man, I got that flagship. They gave me $8,000. But see, the thing is, I had just joined them, and at first I was like, I'm gonna wait. And then because I was like, oh, my credit score is so good, they're gonna give me 25. And then they gave me 8. I don't even think it was 8. I think it was 7.5 or something like that. And so, but then once I stopped banking with Bank of America, and then I went over to Navy Federal, it's like I started putting out, I have a savings account and then a checking account. And then I had the Navy Federal Flagship. So then I was in good standings with them with that. So then I had got my auto loan with them. And then, so when I got the auto loan with them and my interest rate was the lowest interest rate, I was just like, man, this is amazing. And so it was just like, really. And so that's why I say on my channel, because it's like I use myself as an example, kind of to, because I love running tests and things like that, so that you can be better. Just wait. You know what I'm saying? Don't get so excited, to try, especially you really have to decide, what are you applying for the card for? Are you just applying to get approved, or are you applying for a high credit limit? Because if you are, it's going to be a different strategy. You see what I'm saying? So, So yeah, so I would say, even the pledge loan, I hear good things about that, but I haven't done the pledge loan before. But it's just like, and then also if you go on the site, they have so much information, even just in, let's say, your foundation of budgeting, savings, and things like that. So, I just really like Navy Federal.
Hey, if anybody can get in Navy Federal, they need to make sure they do that. It's a great credit union.
Right.
If you can get into any credit union, I would say go for a credit union. Even if you bank with a major bank, the credit union is going to do you better than those banks do as far as interest rates and things like that. So
yeah, that's what I would say too. Navy Federal is great, but I would say any credit union that you can get on with is going to be good.
It's going to be better than a major bank as far as interest rates and things like that.
Yeah.
And probably even the customer service, it depends on the credit union, but
yeah,
the rate wise definitely will be better than a major bank. Now, anybody that knows Tasha, the Major Change Group channel, know that she is anti annual fee, right? Anti-annual fee. You have the American Express Gold Card. How did that come about?
Oh my goodness. Between you and Debt Free Dad, because Debt Free Dad was like, come on, you grown. Like, stop playing around. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you scared of? You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, for me, I get it. But see, I'll tell you, and what I really like about your videos, because I really like when you show, okay, I'm able to get these first class tickets and things like that. So it's like, really, that opened my mind. It's like, I don't know, maybe I was just being so closed minded, I'm being cheap. You know what I'm saying? So where it's like, I don't want to pay no annual fee on a credit card. And so, well, I would say I'm a low to no annual fee. Low to no annual fee. So it's just like, for me, so I had the Marriott Bonvoy through Chase. And then it's like, even though Marriott is like, I love Marriott, but once I wasn't using the card and had that $95 annual fee, I closed that thing with the quickness, because I'm just like, it got $95 annual fee. I'm not trying to be holding my $95. You know what I'm saying? So, I closed that real quick. And so I'm just more so of a low to no annual fee. But now that I have especially with the American Express Gold Card, it's just like, I can see where with having an annual fee, you do get some more perks, but it's like, for me, I'm always going to run the numbers to see, does it make sense? And then I always say, like, can you have too many credit cards to where, like, let's say if I just had the American Express Gold Card, then it would really make sense, because I would just be able to put all of my spend on it. But I'm gonna be trying to open up new credit cards, and then I'm still trying to use other credit cards, to where sometimes it's like you're trying to spread the wealth over all of the credit cards. But I really do like the American Express Gold Card, except for I wish that it had 4 times the points for gas, and so it would really be a legit card for me. But with it having 4 times the points for food, that's where it was like a no-brainer for me, because if I could create a card for me, it would be 4 times, well, as high as I can get it, but at least 4 times the points for food. That's going to be dining, groceries. I'm starting to go to the grocery store a little bit more. Dining, groceries, and then gas, everyday card. It's where it has a little bit of a, higher percentage on it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, make sure that the credit card fits your lifestyle. Don't try to make your lifestyle fit the credit card.
Yeah.
Every credit card isn't for everybody. So
yeah, I want to say what's up to Rod over there on Points Blank Travel.
Rod, my guy. All right. Now, have you ever been declined for a credit card? And if so,
what I'll tell you, before 2020, I had never been declined for a credit card. But then I want to say in 2020, I had got declined for my first card, and that was the Chase ISG Premier. But I will say that it was kind of, Because at that time, man, I was applying for so many credit cards because I had already, I want to say I had got the Navy Federal Flagship, and then I was trying to apply for that card, and it seems like it was another credit card that I had applied for too. So I had got declined for that card, but I got declined, but I did a reconsideration.
You got it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Golden nugget.
Reconsideration.
Get declined, always try again. Always try again. You never know. The worst thing they can say is no again.
Yeah.
They already said no.
Yeah. So I would say the only card, but then I don't know that I can say, it's like on the one hand, can I really say that I've been declined for a card? So that happened and so that's why I was like, I don't know, Chase. I was like, man, why they do this to me sometimes? Because see, even when I applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, they kind of declined me, but then they just approved me. So like when I had applied for the Chase ISG, they legit declined me, and I called the reconsideration line. But with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, when they sent me the letter, they were saying that because see, I had 2 other credit cards with Chase, and so they said I had low usage on those cards, and so basically they just took $5,000 for one of those cards, and so it's like I got approved. But then because I don't have any Capital One credit cards, so I believe I was applying for the Capital One Venture Rewards, and so, but it's like technically, I really can't say it was their fault because I did the pre-qualification, and then I was just like, nah, I'm still gonna try. Because you want to test stuff out sometimes. They're like, nope. So they declined me, but then they're gonna approve me for some other card. I was like, I don't want that card. And so I said nope. So I didn't get it,
Yeah. Capital One is, Capital One is Capital One. So you gotta be careful with them. All right. Now we're gonna go off the subject.
Okay.
Last year you went camping for the very first time.
No, that was my second year.
Was it your second time?
That was my second year.
Okay, so you did 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Will you make it year number 3?
Yes, man, I can't wait. Yes. I'm
awesome.
So this year I'm waiting, like I'm going on the site to see here in Nashville. They have like a group of us, the Nashville Black Collective, and so we do hiking, they do yoga, sound baths, then they also do kayaking, so I love to do kayaking, and so every year they do camping. And so last year when I went, y'all, I really did it up last year. I bought my own tent. So I bought my own tent. So now I have my own tent, and then I have a cot. And so like I am so excited. I'm really excited to go again this year. And so I've been going on the sites to see when they're gonna put it up, when is it gonna be. And so I'm so excited. So I love so I guess, let me say it this way. I guess it's more so, but is it glamping if you sleep in a tent? Is it glamping if you sleep in a tent? You know what I'm saying? So I got my cot in my tent. So I feel like it's still legit camping, but on the one hand, they will they provide our food and stuff like that. So they provide our food. Yeah, and we do karaoke. So it's just like a fun night. We do s'mores. And then we do climbing. So this year, the reason why I'm so excited to go is because this tower, the first year I went, Sledge, oh my gosh, I wasn't even able to get up like the first 2, like maybe just like this much. I wasn't even able to get up this much. And so then last year when I went, I got all the way up to the top, but I wasn't able to get on the platform. So you have to climb all the way up to the top, and then you have to get on the platform. So I'm like, this year is my year that I'm going to climb all the way up to the top, and I'm going to climb on the platform.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I love it. I should have did my research more. I thought last year was the first time.
No, 2 years straight. And so I'm trying to get all my friends to go. I tried to get them to go last year. They was playing around. So I'm like, this year, y'all, come on.
Come on. Come on. All right. Now, it's obvious that you are a fan of the credit card game, the same as I am, because you watch a lot of other creators.
Mm-hmm.
But this is unfiltered 20 question with Sledge. So you got to tell us if it's any of those people that you used to watch that you unsubscribe or you just don't watch anymore. You got to give me at least 3 of them. And I'm going to give you the whole floor to yourself.
Uh-oh. So you're asking me at least 3 content creators?
At least 3 that you don't watch anymore. Because I know it got to be at least 3.
I don't know. I would say I try to watch everybody, and I'm gonna say, points blank, that's my dude. But it's just like, sometimes you get so busy, so it's like I haven't been over to his channel as much, but it's like I still got love. You see what I'm saying? So I would say for me, it's not anybody that I've unsubscribed to. It's just that, sometimes I might not always be able to get over to everybody's channel. So I would say that's more so for me, because it's just like I'm not gonna unsubscribe. So yeah, I'm not gonna unsubscribe, but sometimes you might not see me for a little bit, and it's not anything. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm shouting out my boy Rod from Points Blank Travel, because I know we've done some collabs, and that's why I was just like, he might be like, Tasha, where you been? Because you might not kind of see me, but I would say that's more so, because how, like, let's say if the person is not making content in a while, then really you don't see them in your feed as much. So that's probably more for me than anything else.
Well, we different over here. You a member of the channel, you can go watch the unsubscribe list that I put in my member section.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that, but it's just like, no, I don't really no, I'm probably subscribed to probably 400 people or something like that. So
it's all in fun. All right. Now, it's a lot of content creators that talk credit and credit cards. If someone asks you which creators to avoid watching, would you have someone to tell
them? I don't know. I can't say. To me,
it's unfiltered. Don't forget, this is unfiltered.
Yeah, this is unfiltered. For me, it's not a specific person. Sometimes it's more so kind of like not a genre, but it's just like sometimes I don't like when I see the videos where they might say use your credit cards. And I'm trying to think what topic this is, because they have a word for it. But where they'll say, well, you can use your credit cards if you don't have any money or something like that. And it's just like, be able to use your credit cards and you don't have any money. It's like, why would you lie? You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, even for me, like I have this video in my head to where I want to really talk about, because it's like, I really want to give, and I don't know if anybody would consider this game, but it's like, I really want to give the game on, let's say, even if you're paycheck to paycheck, not fire. It's not fire, because I think that's good, but it's more so with credit cards where they'll tell you to put all of your check on a credit card and then use it here. And I'm just like, why would you have to do that? You see what I'm saying? It's just like, really have your foundation of how you use your credit cards, because it's just like sometimes when I see people, it's like taking shortcuts, or it's just like people want to have the high credit limits, but then it's just like you don't want to do what it takes to be able to get your credit right. Or even I would say, even with people trying to use disputes, like overuse disputes and tell people to do disputes, it's like that's the kind of stuff, like I don't like those videos, because it's just like, yeah, it might come off here, but it's most of the time it's going to come back up. And then it's just like, are you trying to take everything off of your credit report to where then you're gonna have a thin credit report? You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, even though those videos, they get so many views, you see what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, how can I get so many views? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you know, so it's like, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to lie to people like that. And so, you know, because it's just like, I'm very, I try to be very, when I'm saying things, because especially like, even with me having so many credit cards, you know, it's like, it's not a lot of people that really just have like, you know, like, do you know, I don't know anybody in my circle that has 14 credit cards.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, on the one hand, you know, how I talk about credit cards, it's like, how could that really be, you know, how could it be seen in an instance? And so I want to do a video talking about how can you really, especially let's say if you are living paycheck to paycheck, how can you really be able to use your credit cards in a way to be able to get yourself to where you're not paycheck to paycheck. And because I want to shout out to Water Your Soil, because I was like, I need to have a disclaimer on my channel. So it's like I want to talk about this video, and even in my StreamYards, it's you know how you create the videos that you're gonna talk about. So it's like I created the video, but it's just like I just haven't made it because I'm just like, if I make this video, I really am like, I'm going to have to put a disclaimer on it or something, because it's just like, I want you to be able to, you have to have a mindset. And so that's where it goes back for me, you know, with Dave Ramsey. It's no way that I would be able to do what I'm doing now if I didn't change my mindset on credit cards. And so it's like, you have to have a totally different mindset to be able to, you know, like, on the one hand, really, I forced myself to have a utilization in just how I report to the credit bureau. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, really, you're digging down into it a little bit more to that. But it's like, most people, do they really want to kind of get into the weeds that way? You see what I'm saying? So.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of channels out here that tell people shortcuts. And I always say one thing: I don't knock the hustle. I do not knock the hustle. Yeah. But those shortcuts are always going to catch up to you.
Right.
They're always going to catch up to you.
Especially when it's so easy. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, it's too easy for you to do all of that. It's not necessary.
Yeah. I mean, you can call the CFPB and get stuff taken off your credit report and all of that. But if it's legitimate, and I don't know, I see a lot of people saying wipe your whole entire credit file. I don't know what that does for you when you have no credit.
Right. You don't have no credit.
Yeah. But you're right. Those videos get a lot of views.
A lot of views. And then I'm just like, I'm just like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, YouTube is just so interesting. You know.
A lot of people want to take the easy way. But all right, before we get to the next question, I just want to let everybody know, sometime next week, we're having a giveaway for this extra wallet. Extra gave me this wallet. I don't need it because I already have an extra wallet. Nice little black one. But the thing about it is, I don't know how I want to do the giveaway. So if y'all want to put that down in the comment section, even though we're not going in the comments today, y'all want to put in the comment section how I should do the giveaway next week. Put it down in the comment section, and I'll take it from there. But I'm about to get back to these questions. We almost at the end. We are almost at the end.
We cooking over here.
All right. What are the plans for the Major Chain Group channel in a distant future?
This is so funny because you know how when we did the creator questions. And, you know, when we did the creator questions, you know, I literally, because I was just like, wow, you know, when I saw like some of the others, and that's why sometimes, you know, watching other content creators, you know, it's like I try to sometimes just stay, you know, kind of in, you know, what I'm doing. But for me, because, you know, I'm 5 years in this year. So this is my 5th year. And so, like, you know, when I first started YouTube, oh my goodness, it wasn't nothing you could talk to me about. You know, I'm working, then I'm coming home, I'm doing YouTube, writing stuff down. I have all this and, making all this content. And then I would say probably 2022, that's where it was at for me. Man, I was making like 20 video, they didn't have shorts at that point. So I was making legit, 15 to 20 videos a month. But it was just like, I was just burning myself out kind of. You see what I'm saying? And so then 2023, and it's just like 2023, that's when I kind of, it's not to say that I was burnt out. I wasn't burnt out. That's not the right word, but it's just like, I was just out, I was just out doing more. And so then it was hard, and then I'm always coming up with these ideas, but how can I hold myself accountable? Because, with YouTube, you just holding your own self accountable. You see what I'm saying? And so then it's just like I wasn't making that much content. And then even because it's just like I'll say, well, next month, I'll make more content. And then next thing you know, and so for me, it's really, creating more content because I have the ideas and I really want to get into the shorts because I'll call my sister all the time because I'll have like a because I have an idea for this one short and it is so funny, but then it's like I didn't record it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like for me, I really want to start back, creating just more consistent with my creation of content. But then also because I want to say probably 2022, I said, because it's like I want to trend because I was always trending for Navy Federal, but then it's like I really kind of peeled back and I wasn't doing a whole lot of the Navy Federal videos. And so I said that I really wanted to trend for credit card utilization, so I really wanted to trend there because it's just like for me, even though I talk about, opening up so many credit cards, I really, want us to be able to get to a place to where, how can we really be good with our credit profile to where we don't have to worry about like whatever credit card that we're going to be getting, we know that we can get approved, or have like a good strategy so that, we're not getting denied. And so really just making sure that the foundation of our, our budget and then our credit profile is good so that we can, just apply for whatever credit card that we want.
All right, we down to the very last question.
Okay.
It's going to be the hardest question of all.
Uh-oh, let me.
What are your social media handles and where can my subscribers reach you?
Oh, this is the easiest question. But then I'll say, y'all, you talking about me trying to put stuff on my YouTube. So I'm, trying my best to get better with creating content for my YouTube channel. I do have a Instagram. Y'all, I have not posted on my Instagram page since probably July or September of last year. So I'm just like really horrible at posting on social media. But my Instagram is the Major Change Group. And then also, of course, I do have my Etsy shop. So if anybody is interested in getting my digital budget planner, you can go over to my Etsy shop, and that's the Major Change Group as well. Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Tasha from the Major Change Group, it was a pleasure having you over here, and I don't wish anything but success for you and your channel.
Thank you
for
so
everybody
much.
else, we are out of here. It was Sledge, Unfiltered 20 Questions with Sledge, and we gone.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and much success to your channel.